So fellas, we're going to address the Warwick changes. Okay, so the new changes for Warwick are a big fucking problem. So, Riot is doubling down on their changes on the W. Doubling down. They're reducing the base AD from... Sorry, by 2. I'm just gonna say by 2. But they're increasing the cast range for Q by a little bit so that he's harder to kite. And the W attack speed duration increased from 1 second to 2.5 seconds. This is horrible. Actually horrible. So, you know, this is the PvE data mine. Basically, they elaborated more on the W changes, which were not elaborated in 14.22, because in 14.22, they didn't tell us that the first auto attack doesn't give us the attack speed anymore. They didn't tell us anything like that. All they told us is, let me see. Spells now trigger the attack speed, and the attack speed now lingers, and these are some, like, small changes. This is the main thing. They basically just double down. Let's go by them. Let's go one by one about them. The current implementation grants you the attack speed for a set duration after attacking a target below the thresholds. At low attack speed, i.e. level 1, this duration was actually long enough to consistently last until your next attack, effectively doing nothing sometimes. Yes, when you get kited, you will attack somebody that is kiting you for a second before hitting you again, therefore you don't get any attack speed. This increased duration should not be more than enough to cover that case, which you shouldn't even need to cover if you just reverted the changes, but instead you're doubling down with them. This also means that you can now sometimes keep the increased attack speed for a few attacks if you swat targets regardless of the new target's health. So we literally get two things saying the exact same thing. We know, we figured that out already. If the old target was below 25%, but the new target was above 25%, then you will reset to the 25% attack speed value. What? I don't... What? However, if the new target is above 50%, then you will keep whatever attack speed value you had before regardless, since the target above 50% does not reevaluate the attack speed buff. Okay, so are you telling me that if I get, like, an Aatrox, yeah, like, below 20%, 25%, I hit him, and then he gets to 50%, I don't get the attack speed anymore? I never noticed that. Maybe that's why the attack speed felt so clunky sometimes. For example, if you just kill something, you'll keep the 25 attack speed buff for a few attacks, as you swap to a new full health target, which can help cut them down to 50% quicker. All this similarly applies if you attack someone with the W active mark, then swap to someone else who's unmarked, regardless of either champion's health. We know this. Like, 3 of these things say the exact same thing, but okay. So let me now go over... Hold on, I got a little notepad prepared here. Professional streamer, by the way. Don't know what my shit does and how I put it in. So, this is it, guys. This is it, fellas. They clarified on the 14.22 changes as being intentional. Everybody in Warwick mains was coping that these were not intentional, and the WWE was indeed bugged. It's intentional. They wanted this to happen. They just didn't clarify on it at all in the patch notes, and we got the wrong tooltip from PBE in the live servers right now currently, where it says that the out-of-combat move speed is in combat, but I digress. Ever since 14.22, Warwick has gotten 5 bugs. Ulting through people, second, Q bugging out with E2 always acting like a hold if timed right, W attack speed not working properly at all sometimes, Tiamat proc doesn't take away W out of combat move speed, the move speed is still out of combat, but if you use Stridebreaker and Tiamat, and even if you like hit champions by proxy by using Tiamat on minion, you will not lose that combat move speed, which is nice, but you can't tell me that's intentional, and that shouldn't even be a thing. That shouldn't be how it works. The 5th, can't remember right now, but during my rant. Okay, so I think this one is the one where apparently there's a bug with Warwick where if you queue like a different target, like a minion, and then try to ult through like a champion, you will ult through them. And I did this actually. Let me show you. Let me pull this up. Let's go over this like first how it plays out, and I'll explain what happened. So that. Like, let me explain it right here. Let's go in slow-mo, why don't we? So before this would have worked, I even timed it, like, well enough so that what I was trying to do here was I would have the Yone ult me, and then with the frame where I'm about to jump behind myself when Yone is going to pop up there, hit him, ignore his CC, and start mauling away at him instantly. But now, for some reason, other people have figured this out, not me. I queued a minion, and then I ulted behind myself. He is right there. Right in front of me. I'm just passing through him right here. Just fucking ghost riding the whip, baby. So if you queue a different target than the guy you're trying to hit with your ultimate and then immediately ult, you'll go through them. That sounds stupid, right? That sounds like it should have not worked. Well, for some reason, this only happens when you like queue minions. I don't know, a minion, and then try to like ult the Aatrox that is trying to kill you, and you might ult through him. And this happened with the Yone right here. So yeah, that's always fun. Let me pull it up again. We got 5 more bugs. These work changes are not good. Nobody likes these. We want bug fixes, Riot. Double down on this W change that everybody hates. Every one of my, you know, Warwick main, like, colleagues and friends that play Warwick, that play the fucking champion to death, hate these changes, and have basically, some of them stopped playing Warwick completely, or, you know, played him, like, once a day because they're still their main and they don't want to DK in, League. We already went over this, kinda. But I'll go over this part. So, basically, Riot doing the W change of the attack speed lingering from W now from 1 second to 2.5 seconds is a horrible change. It is abysmal. Because Warwick was a champion that didn't have that many things wrong with him, if any at all. His kit was basically perfect. It was easy to balance, easy to implement. You could do so many things with it. But we decided to completely mini rework the W for some reason and make Warwick feel more clunky. And, you know, he's gone buggier. Basically, what this will happen is you will hit a minion, and you will immediately melt a turret. I'm already melting turrets right now because I've gotten used to the new W, where I would hit a minion that is like 1 HP, and then hit the turret 3 times fast, and basically be melting it. Now, you'll be able to get up to 6 auto attacks. Up to 6 auto attacks. Or 6 to 7 auto attacks on the turret after hitting your low target. At 2.5 attack speed, that is broken. Warwick will become the best split pusher in the game, and he will become impossible to balance if you do this change. After hitting a low HP minion, he can win any trade if the enemy isn't aware of this. So you can literally just decide, hey, I'm gonna hit this little minion, and then go on to like hit the person that I actually want to hit for 2.5 seconds with 2.5 attack speed. Let's go, dude. Hey, problem solved. They can't kite us anymore. Also, this makes it so that, you know, people kited away from you before, where the first auto attack would be a slow one, and then the one after for a second would be the fast one, but it was never, like, long enough, it didn't linger long enough for you to, like, not get kited long enough to just get, like, for you to hit them with the slow one, again, after, like, 1.5 seconds. Now it lasts 2.5 seconds. You'll hit them once, they'll kite you for, like, 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, you'll still have the, like, fast attack speed. It's fucked. Unironically, he is suffering the same fate as I predicted in my prior video about the Warwick changes in 14.22, where I went on a tangent being like, hey guys, remember what they did to Rengar in the Assassin update and shit? Where they gave Rengar, made his Q AoE, and he either one-shotted nobody or everybody. Let me give you a little bit of like a history repeat. So this was the Assassin changes that they did, and Riot, instead of just reverting these stupid changes, doubled down. So as you can see here, this is where the problem started. This is the same patch as the LeBlanc patch. They basically tried to make his AoE Q savagery work somehow by just beating around the bush, giving him like different changes, like flat attack damage bonus increased, attack damage growth increased, base damage reduced, bug fix, range consistent gas all skins, duration reduced, blah 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 blah. Before 2 years later, they finally went, yeah, okay guys, you still aren't happy, we fucked up, fine. Here's your stab back. Let's get back to business. And LeBlanc had the same thing happen to her. So now I'm just like asking, who is making these changes? Did the person that like works in Cassante, Zeri, Yumi, Smolder, Rel, like just decide, I'm gonna try something on Warwick, guys. I'm gonna try something. Because it feels like if we go down this path, Warwick is going to see a lot of changes done to him because of this new W passive. They'll make him an insane split pusher. In lane, once he hits a low health minion, he'll get 2.5 attack speed and just absolutely melt anybody in his way. He'll be unkiteable, which is something that I don't want. Because I'm not gonna lie, the changes that they did are actually a lot worse than you might think. Warwick W did not need a change and has only made things more complicated. We just went over that. Yes. Warwick W has Riot doubling down on the decision to rework it for some reason. Now we're gonna see them beating around the bush trying to make this change work, which is something that I just brought up with Rengar and LeBlanc. We're not gonna see a W revert. We're going to see Riot being like, decreased damage reduction on E, increased mana cost on R, decreased healing from passive, increased damage on Q. We're gonna see shit like that now, where Riot is just doing all these changes because they just want to throw shit at the wall and see what sticks to make this change work. He's going to be either a 55% unbeatable, broken champion of a top laner that is just, you know, snowballing on everyone with this new change and melting towers in seconds. The only criticism that Ari has listened to seems to be the part where most of Warwick players said that they would be fine with his base AD being reduced, but give him more nuance to his kit. The only criticism that has been listened to from the Warwick community: hey Riot, we're fine if you reduce Warwick's base AD. Warwick's base AD needs to be lower, considering his passive gives him magic damage on hit, and every one of his abilities, you know, procs on hit damage. And he gets a lot of attack speed, come on. Makes sense. Except they've given us horrible changes that made the champion completely fucked. And he's going to be in this cycle of, you know, we'll give him like more mini reworks, more changes, before being left in the dust, either broken as shit or really, really weak. Either way, at the end of it, it's not going to be my champion. Warwick is going to be something entirely different. Warwick is what was perfect prior to 14.22. He just needed some minor buffs to his wave clear, some minor base buffs to like his base movement speed being one of the lowest in the game, which made sense 7 years ago, but now everybody's got a dash. Fine. By the end of this, Warwick is not going to be the same. Warwick is going to become something else. A champion that I didn't fall in love with. He's going to become, you know, Riot's Frankenstein, just like Cassante, Zeri, and Yumi, Sporter, and Rel did. Like, come on. What the Warwick community actually wants. So I've talked to literally like every Warwick main ever. Like people reaching out to me in DMs, my community, people in the comment sections that actually played Warwick and were not just like ADC players going to the comment section being like, oh, I'm glad your fucking Warwick is not good anymore. He was broken as shit. Arcane buffs not enough? They were not buffs. If you know, you know. We already went over this. Anyway, revert W. 95% of Warwick players want this to happen, as a very small minority don't mind the changes. There's so few people that actually like the new W. And I don't even think that 5%, I think that 5% of people who don't mind the changes is being really generous. Because from what I see, it's more like 99% of people don't like these changes. Riot has made this champion feel more clunky, feel less satisfying to play, and it is just has done more harm than good. Everybody wants this reverted. We want lots of bug fixes. You know, stuff like our W attack speed and movement speed not working properly. Our W vision not working properly. Like, how the fuck Action's W works better than our Blood Hunt? Like, how is Action W working, but Blood Hunt isn't? The Q, like, acting like a hold / tab, or vice versa when you don't want it to. Ulting through people, as we went over here. I'm not gonna, you know, go over these. I'm gonna go on mostly, like, the old bugs. There was also a bug where, like, well, it still is. There's a bug where your Q doesn't, like, ignore CC, even when you're clearly in the middle of the animation. Warwick E. For some reason, the hitbox is just straight up bugged. You can't tell me otherwise, and it needs to get a bigger fear range instead of the reduced lockout duration, which has only rewarded people who don't know how to play Warwick, and it's made work more stronger in low elos. Meanwhile, in high elos, he's been suffering. Changes to the ways the abilities works to give more control to players, like Q acting like a tap always, unless you're holding that ult. I would love if they implemented this. I want Q to always act like a hold. Like they've done this with Shaco, where they hold down alt or R again or whatever, depending on whatever, so they could like do different things with their clones and make them like move a different way. I'd be fine if just holding down the ult would make Q act like a hold. And if you let go of alt, you're not holding on anymore. I don't want it to be on the same ability because that's done more harm than good. Doing it this way would make it so that you will have 100% control where Warwick's Q acting like a tap versus acting like a hold. And it'll also add skill expression, because sometimes people did like have Q act like a tap when they didn't want it to and they won, or acted like a hold when they, you know, wanted to and, you know, just lost. Different buffs to what we got in 14.22. So we already went over this in our last vid, but I'll just go over this like rather quickly. Warwick needs to lose his big ass fucking hitbox. His hitbox needs to be smaller. He still has outcome and movement speed and still has shitty base stats, but his, you know, gameplay radius is increased for some reason. It makes no sense. Give us something of that instead of these changes. What I'll actually go over as well is the Q cast range increasing. This is going to make it so that you basically reward like bad Warwick players just queuing onto a target, and you'll just be making it so much harder for like 80 carries to catch you. I think it's fine that 80 carries can kite Warwick. I think it's one of his main weaknesses. If you do this change, what will happen is, even if it's just a 15, you know, unit change, that can still mean the difference between he was like one little unit away from me to I caught up to you and now you're dead. Warwick has basically went the exact same I thought, and I'll be going over this also very quickly. I said that 3 times, but for real this time, this is the last time. Basically, his win rate in the jungle has increased, like in low elos, but at a cost. So basically, let's go at this from here. Also, yes, I'm using u.gg. I swear, there's gonna be so many people in the comments being like, don't use this website, it's wrong. This one is correct. This looks the one that is the most right to me. That makes the most sense to me and, you know, other Warwick players. So in lower elos, he is broken as fuck. Actually, this is, let's do over jungle first, because that's where he's like the most problematic. He is like S+ tier in jungle at like every elo. Besides from Diamond, where he's fine. And we'll go up here. We'll go back to here. His top lane win rate hasn't actually gone up by a lot, if at all. It's basically been kept the same. Where he's at a 51% win rate, 52% win rate here in silver, 52%, 53% in plat, emerald 51%, 51%, and then we get to masters. Okay, this isn't as dramatic as I thought it would be. What the fuck? What happened? Yeah, this was in before. But now it's fine. What happened? The build change? Maybe the meta change, I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Huh. What, did people like start getting used to these changes? I mean, these are very low matches, to be honest. A lot of people like stop playing Warwick altogether, to be fair. So in like Masters Plus, that's where Warwick just becomes shit. Sure, he has like a positive rate like here. Kinda, and in the jungle, yeah. But the thing is, you need to always have like a 51% win rate, 50% win rate to even like stay in Grandmaster. So I don't really think that that's, you know, that good. But yeah, basically low elo, he has gotten, you know, better in the jungle. Top lane not affected that much in 14.22. But later on, his win rate went down a lot. But if you look at Masters, his win rate did like basically like a big fucking nosedive, Lamau. Okay, in jungle he's still bad, to be fair. In the jungle he's still bad. I mean, in Challenger, that's high win rate because that's really like the best work players. In Challenger, you need to have a 55% win in Challenger. If you don't have a 55% win in Challenger, you're not Challenger. So that's it. Riot, please. Please, just backpedal on the W changes. Stop making this worse. This change is not going to work. The champion feels so fucking bad. Just give us bug fixes and revert the W. That is all we wanted. That is literally all we wanted ever since the 14.22 change went through.